someone that's afraid to let go. You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. Yeah, suicide if you ever try to let go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. So it's that time of year again. Another year in review. So the last time this is my second year in review. I did one for 2019, basically last year, and I was talking about it. And I was saying how much of a fantastic year it was, how I did so much, and how I accomplished so much. That year, 2019, was so fantastic. However, I cannot say the same for 2020. So, right now, before I actually begin the video, right now, I'm actually in isolation. Not because I have COVID, but because my brother has it. And I'm not isolated in my bedroom. I'm just isolated in my house, so I cannot leave my house. But I can walk around my house. But I have to have my mask on at all times. So yeah, I got tested for COVID yesterday. I made the separate video about that. I don't know if this one's gonna make it first or the other one. But I got tested for COVID-19 yesterday. They did the saliva test, not a nose test. I have not gotten my results back as of right now, as of recording this. But hopefully, later on in the day, I can get my results and record my reaction for y'all. But yeah, I had a lot of weird dreams last night about how, I was feeling sick and I got rapid tested and I came up positive. And then I was around one of my sister's friends and I was like, yo, y'all gotta get tested. And then I got a bunch of dreams that, the test from yesterday came out all negative, but then I wake up and I'm just like, wait, bruh, I haven't got my results. But I'm more confident it's going to be negative because I don't feel any symptoms except for a cough, but that's been here forever now. So I'm more than confident that my test is going to come out negative. So I'll save that for a different video. But anyways, let's start off the 2020 year in review. Oh boy. I think you guys were expecting this one and expect a lot of ranting on this video. And if I speak French a little bit, pardon me, it's just that this year has brought so much difficulties and I don't know, so much bad stuff has happened that, if I end up, cursing, I apologize, because, I don't know, this year has just made me so frustrated, stressed. Okay, so let's start off with how the year started. So the year started off good. January was a good month, or it was an okay month. It wasn't really good, but it wasn't bad. And then, late January, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what happened. We lost Kobe Bryant. He was killed in a helicopter crash. And I never really watched any basketball, but I know a lot of people knew him. They looked up to him, and they were pretty sad about his passing, so yeah. So that only was in January. That's like in the first, 3-4 weeks of the year. And that's kind of what started all the bad luck. February, Pop Smoke was killed in mid-February. But for me, February was a pretty good month. And, the year was starting off on an okay note. It wasn't starting off as good as 2019 was, but it was starting off on an okay note. But then in March, coronavirus, well actually no, coronavirus has been around since last November. It got to the US in January. It was only like a couple cases. In February, it got a little worse, but it was still okay. And then in March, when it got really, really, really bad over here. So let's start off with how March started. So the month started okay. It was starting pretty good. Then I got on spring break, and it was okay until March 12th. Or no, March 11th. That's the day almost everything started to close. I made a whole video about that. I'll put it up right over here. I made a whole video about that. I was kind of describing like what's gonna happen. So that's the day when some stuff started to close, and even I think I mentioned how Tom Hanks had COVID at that time. I think he should be good now. Obviously, this was 9 months ago. Then the next day on March 12th, this is when school started to close, when a lot of small businesses went out of business temporarily, and that's when quarantine started. And I think the stay-at-home order started the next week. Even what closed? My school closed that week, churches closed, everything. And that is when the isolation started. And that's when already at that point when 2020 was bad. So yeah, that made the year bad at that point, like super super bad. And believe it or not, I actually never really told anybody this except for my friends. But when quarantine began, I actually kind of went into a state of depression, believe it or not. Now, basically, the reason I say this is because I was stuck here, bored, alone. I couldn't see anybody. And, at least I was able to communicate with my friends online, and that's kind of how things moved. Then, school went remote, and that was difficult because, let's be honest, if you're going to be homeschooled, you're obviously not going to focus. Well, I mean, if you're like a really try hard at school, or like a nerd, like a really big nerd at school, then obviously. But, you get the idea. For the average amount of students, this year, a lot of people stopped, attending school because they went online and they just skipped classes. So that was pretty difficult. However, the Zoom meetings and all that, how when school went online at the last semester, not when I started junior year, but like at the end of sophomore year for me, that's when things started getting bad. But yeah, that's when the Zoom started. At that time, it wasn't really like mandatory, because I joined like the Zoom meeting only 3 times ever, or 4, I don't know, but they didn't really make it mandatory. And then that's at that point I just kind of stressed a bit until then one of my teachers told me that, okay, if you're gonna, if you already passed this half of the semester, you'll be good for the rest of the year. So after that, I just kind of slacked. And that, I think at that point, I was like, okay, I'm done with sophomore year. I might as well not put much stress on school. But then that COVID was still getting bad. It was worsening with time, and it worried me because I was, afraid that this was gonna last long. And 9 months into it, it's about to be 10 months in January. That's insane. But yeah, at that point, I was already so pissed at this year. I was like, no, this summer, because what was also worse is we were approaching summer, and there's still no hope of the virus coming to an end. And that's one of the next things I'll get to, but I'm going to continue. So then I don't know what month it was, that we got the killer hornets that came to the U.S. and were threatening honeybees. Now that one I wasn't, particularly too afraid of. I think they've taken care of the problem. But then what else happened? Oh yes, in late May, I'm not going to talk too much about this, was when, the killing of George Floyd and all that. And then it started all the protests, and then there were riots, and then, I don't know, it just got all insane. It started with peaceful protests, and then people started rioting in a bunch of cities. Even my city, Dallas, was, it was, people were rioting there. And that's at that point I was like, oh, no, we cannot do this. We cannot, I am not going to live through this hell. And that's at the point when summer vacation was supposed to start for me. And this summer was terrible. I'm just going to say that straight up. This summer was absolute trash. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. Well, actually, there were a couple of nice days of the summer. I got to see my friend. We got to go out to, film the trains. I think you guys have seen some of those videos. I got to go to his house, and he has a pool. And that was pretty fun. So I guess those were the only good days. And I guess 4th of July, that was also, that was actually a pretty good day. But most days of the summer were absolute garbage. I was supposed to go to Los Angeles this summer. I was supposed to go to Mexico this summer. But all that got postponed. Or all that got canceled. Not postponed, it got canceled. Because of that. And in the summer, cases were going up to about 1,000 cases a day here. And that's what's going on right now. Actually, no, it's worse than that right now. It's a lot worse. But, yeah, at that time, COVID was worsening. And that's when I was like, I was so pissed because I didn't get to go anywhere. No vacation, no nothing like that. And, we also would do other activities in the summer. We'd go out to other places. We'd go to the water park. And we didn't get to do that. Most of my summer, I was in here alone doing nothing. Not to mention, okay, you guys already know how my usual summers are. I always record well, started in 2017. I recorded most of my summer, what I was doing. It was pretty fun. Summer 2018 was also pretty fun. 2019 was way better than amazing. And then this year just went, boom, garbage. I don't know. This summer was just absolutely terrible. I didn't do anything. COVID was still rising. Yeah, and it was bad. It was so freaking bad. And then we move on to August. That's when we'll already skip most of July and June, because I already kind of described that the summer was pretty bad because I didn't get to go anywhere on vacation. I didn't get to do my usual activities. I didn't get to see anybody. I didn't get to see any of my friends. Well, okay, we'll kind of move on to that. So then August started, and then school was coming around the corner already, and I was like, damn, already. And the thing is, I had so much stress. I was so freaking stressed because of everything going on, COVID, everything that already has happened in the year. I was so freaking stressed. I didn't want to go back to school. And a lot of people were saying the same thing. They were like, I have so much stress in me. Do I look like I want to be back in school? But in a way, I was like, maybe I guess it can kind of distract me a bit, I don't know, from everything. And there was a debate whether I wanted to stay online or actually go back in person. And at that moment, I was like, I don't know. But yeah, and then I just kind of thought it for a bit, and then I was like, okay, I'll just go back in person. But because cases were still going up crazy, what was I gonna say? Yeah, we had to do remote for the first 3 weeks, and then in September I got to go back in person. That was actually a pretty good time because I got to see most of my friends again. Most of them came back, and then they all eventually switched to remote in like October, November. I'm not going to get too much about, but in September was actually a pretty good month actually, because in September actually I did some things. Besides me going back to school, I actually got my room remodeled, as you guys could see right now. Actually, show you the whole thing. My room was practically remodeled. The wall was taken out, repainted, a new different desk, and a new bed frame, and all that kind of thing. So September was actually a pretty good month. And then, at that point, COVID cases were actually going down. We weren't getting that much cases. We were only getting about 100 cases a day. And that's what's like, oh shoot, it's actually going away. But then October came, and October started off good. But the month ended, actually no, October was a pretty decent month. But when it came to COVID, October was a bad month, because in the middle, towards the end of October, the cases started going up again. And then November came, and the first half of November was pretty good, and then the second half just kind of got boring from on there, and that's when COVID cases started to spike like crazy again. And then we moved to this month, which this month was not a very good month. The month started off okay, I kind of actually had the Christmas vibe a little bit, and then I got sick 2 weeks ago. And that's when I kind of lost my Christmas spirit. I was sick for about almost a week. And the worst part is that my break was starting and I got sick. Because the problem was like, okay, there goes all my plans, because I plan to at least go to a few places and just, because, staying at home for a long time, or if you're just staying here for like every single day now, it's been almost what? It's actually, no, it's been exactly 2 weeks since I actually got sick, and that's when I kind of just started to have to stay at home. And at that point, I just kind of lost my Christmas vibe. So then Christmas came, and it didn't really feel like it, because I'd already lost my Christmas vibe because I was sick for that whole week and I just stayed at home. I didn't really do anything. And every year for right before Christmas, I get to do something. I get to go to places, but I couldn't this year because I got sick. But at the time when it was already Christmas, I was already better. But so I got to see my cousins, and we got to screw around. But it was only on Christmas Eve. On Christmas Day, I just stayed at my grandma's house the whole day. I didn't really do anything. My cousins didn't come back. So, yeah, it was kind of boring. But I liked the presents I got. I got 3 gift cards and a bunch of hoodies. And, I was happy with that, at least. But now we move on to this week. So today is New Year's Eve. But this week has been pretty damn bad. because I thought at this point, oh well, I can easily I just thought you could. Okay, so I was isolated for about a week at that point because I was sick, and then also my mom got sick too, and so she's still sick, so that's the problem. And then I kind of thought there, okay, maybe hopefully she can get better by this week. My isolation can end after New Year's. But I was wrong. It's going to continue on for about the end of next week. Because the worst timing came that my brother tested positive for COVID. And that just screwed us over completely. I don't have it, or I don't think I have it. I told you guys I already did my test. But the reason is because we're living in the same house, and if we go out, we could possibly potentially spread it. Now, obviously, he's isolated in his room, of course, but you guys get the idea. It could still travel through the air and that kind of thing. So just not to risk anything, we're staying here. And the thing is, you have COVID for what, 10 to 14 days, and I think he was exposed to it on Christmas Day. I'm not going to say how, because I don't. That's something that I shouldn't even be saying, but you guys get the idea. So he was exposed to it on Christmas, and at that point in time, what would that give us? Up until the end of next week for him to come on and test negative. Around the middle to the end of next week. So that's already another week of isolation, and now basically screwed up my entire break because I go back to school on Tuesday, which is ridiculous. Like how fast this break has gone. I guess you couldn't even consider a break, so I didn't get to really do anything. I mean, besides staying home, not going to school, but what's the point? I'm not even going to go anywhere, do anything, so that's not really a good vacation at all. So now that brings us to today. So this whole year has gone pretty quickly. It's gone quickly and slow at the same time. And this year has just been absolutely terrible. It's so bad that I don't even know anymore. But this year has just been absolute garbage. That's all I'm really going to say. I've described what has happened. I've described all the bad things. Most stuff that happened this year was terrible. It was bad. There were a couple good things that came along with this year. I kind of said it already. But that was only, one or two things. Almost out of everything I said, 95% of it was bad. But that's regarding on how the year has been, how I lived my life this year. It was pretty bad because, again, we got quarantined because of COVID. We have to wear masks everywhere. We cannot see a lot of people. We cannot see most of our friends and family because, we're spreading this virus. And I don't know. The only good hope that came out of this was this month, the 2 to 3, I think, vaccines came out. But they're currently being used for emergency use. So I'm not going to be able to get vaccinated until the spring or summer. Which, that could possibly be good because, at that time, things could slowly start getting back to normal, I hope. So that's pretty much all the bad that has come out of this year. How I've lived my life this year. But let's talk about how my YouTube channel went this year. So, as you guys know, I've been really uploading a lot of videos this year. My subscribers count stayed practically the same. I don't even know how many subscribers I gained in this whole year. But it's been, right now, I have 10.6k subscribers. And I hit 10k last August. So that's not good. My pieces of tech have actually kind of decreased a little bit more this year. I didn't really collect anything new except for the iPhone 4S, but that was about it. But I've got to I came up with a couple more ideas for other types of videos. Like, I could screw around with my cousins. We're playing either Smash Bros. Or Among Us or something. And then, for about that, I think there are also some other videos that I kind of, some newer videos I did. I actually recorded the Animal Crossing New Horizons, me playing it. That game also came out this year, back in March. And then Mario 3D All-Stars, of course, also came out. And, I recorded, my first impression of the game 1 month later, 2 months later. I kind of stopped after like 4 months because in that video I was kind of saying that, I might get bored of this game in a couple months. It happened. I'm kind of been moving on more to Smash Bros. Now again. And Among Us too. But, I've kind of introduced a couple new videos. Also, so the other thing of my YouTube channel, my ad revenue has gone down almost completely, so that's not good. So yeah, that's pretty much what has happened with my YouTube channel. I haven't gained much subscribers. My ad revenue has gone down a lot, and but I've come up with a couple new ideas for my YouTube videos. So in terms of that, not super good. It's okay, I guess. And yeah. Some other things that also happened this year. For one, my camera battery broke. I don't know if you guys remember that one. So you guys kind of remember that now because my other battery is kind of already like a low battery, and I'm already using my secondary battery. So that's why I kind of remembered my camera battery broke. And another good thing about this year is I got closer with a couple other friends. And that's practically all about it. I don't know if you guys heard that. How did I snap my hands like that? Sound like I popped something. But yeah, that is my whole review on this year. This year has been the absolute worst year in human history. So much bad has come out of this year and so much crazy things that, you know, every day I wish I was in 2019 because that year was just so amazing. I'm always looking back at my old videos from that year and also from 2018. You know, that was also a pretty good year. But I mostly look back at 2019 because I accomplished so much that year. I did so much and it was a lot of fun. You know, we didn't have to worry about anything when life was actually good. But I mean, what else is there? What can we do about it, you know? So all we could do is hope the best for 2021. Now obviously, let's be real here. It's not going to be nowhere close to 2019. I'll tell you that right now because COVID cases are still on the rise like crazy. And, you know, while a vaccine is out, it's not for everybody just yet. You know, the public cannot take it yet. It's currently for emergency use because they don't have enough doses for everybody. So that would potentially be till the summer or the spring possibly. That's when I heard they want to vaccinate everybody, and hopefully enough people get vaccinated to the point where, you know, we could start reaching immunity and this pandemic could come to an end. Now, obviously, the way the next year is going to start off, it'll be like what's going on right now. It's going to be towards the middle of the year where things slowly start to get better with you know, the vaccine, herd immunity, which might be March, April, somewhere between March and June, around there. And then a little bit towards the end of the year, things could start getting back to normal. And then hopefully by next Christmas, this pandemic will be over, hopefully. That's probably what a lot of people are also thinking of, you know, how 2021 is going to be like. Hopefully nothing super crazy. And, you know, also this year we lost a lot of good people. And not to mention, we've had the absolute worst president ever, who's been leading us, who, you know, is the worst person to just lead us, especially during a time like this. I'm not even, you guys already know who it is, it's freaking Donald Trump. I actually remember back in 2016, I made a Go Enemy rant on him. And I knew from when he became president, he was going to screw everything up, and I was right. But we got Joe Biden coming in now, which I wouldn't say he's 100% better. He's worse in a couple scenarios. But, you know, he's actually, you know, confident of actually working for this country, you know, and actually, you know, and for actually, you know, trying to put this pandemic to an end and actually doing something instead of, you know, just trying to, you know, he's like, instead of, you know, not admitting that you lost the election. Because that was also another crazy thing that happened, the election. Everything just went wild and chaotic that year. Now, I'm not going to get into politics because I'm not really into that much. So I'm just going to leave it at there. So that's pretty much all I have to say for this year. 2020 was a bad year, worst year ever. Hope 2021 will at least be somewhat better, but it won't be as close to 2019. But what I at least want is a good summer, because that's all I'm going to ask for. That I can, you know, go out, have a nice summer, swim, you know, go to the pool, see my friends, see my family, you know, all that without having to worry about, hopefully by then the pandemic will start to die down, like a significant amount. So yeah, that's pretty much all for 2020. Comment down how you guys, how 2020 was for you. And I'm pretty sure everybody's going to say this year was absolute trash. So yeah, that's all I'm really gonna say. This year was bad. Hope 2021 is better. But I'll be towards the middle of the year. But anyways, that's all for this video, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a happy new year. Right now, for me, I'm still gonna stream the lockdown. Not the lockdown, idiot. The countdown. I'm gonna stream the countdown. However, I have to stay here. I can't go anywhere because, my brother has COVID, so we have to stay here at home. I cannot go to my grandparents' house and see my cousins like I do every year and how I streamed it last year and 2019. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but, that's how life is. Life's terrible for now. So, yeah, guys, that's all I have to say for this video. So, again, hope you guys have a happy new year. And if you're gonna, go somewhere, stay safe because this pandemic is getting worse by the minute, and I can definitely say that myself. Alright guys, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a happy 2021, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.